Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to WBFR Studio A in Manhattan, New York, right here in the US of A. I'm your host, Freddie Fillmore, and it's my pleasure to bring you your favorite stories this and every week on WBFR Playhouse of the Air. Tonight, we bring you a real feel-good heartwarmer, perfect for this or any Christmas Eve. It's a Wonderful Life. We begin our story in the little town of Bedford Falls, New York, where a number of people in the town are praying for their dear friend, an ordinary American named George Bailey.
Dear God, please look over my husband, George.
George is a good boy. You know that. My son has always gone out of his way to do everyone else a hand, but now he needs the help.
Help my big brother, George. He's done so much for all of us. More for me than I
remember all the times he would stay late after work and not ask a cent. The world needs more like George.
George Bailey never thinks about himself. I wouldn't have a roof over my head if it wasn't for him.
If it wasn't for him, I would have given up long ago. All I think about is myself. I must have taken the last cent he had.
The voices carry heavenward, and Joseph, the superintendent of angels, summons Clarence, an apprentice angel.
You sent for me, sir?
Yes, Clarence, a man down on Earth needs our help.
Splendid. Is he sick?
No, worse. He's discouraged. At exactly 10:45 p.m. tonight, Earth time, that man will be thinking seriously about throwing away God's greatest gift.
Oh, dear. His life. Then I've only a half an hour to dress. What are they wearing now?
You will spend that half hour getting acquainted with George Bailey.
Sir, if I should accomplish this mission, might I perhaps win my wings? I've been waiting over 200 years, and people are beginning to talk.
What's that book you've got with you?
The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, sir.
You do a good job with George Bailey, and we'll see about your wings.
Thank you.
If you're going to help George, you want to know a little something about him. Look, see the town?
Why, yes. Yes, a group of young boys sledding down a snow-covered hill and onto the ice.
Woo!
Who's that?
That's George Bailey when he was 12, back in 1919. Something happens here you'll have to remember later on.
Here comes a scare baby, my kid brother, Harry Bailey!
I'm not a scared.
Come on, Harry! Come on! Hey, help!
Eddie's fallen through the ice.
I'm coming, Harry. Make a chain, gang.
His brother fell through the ice, and George saved him.
But the icy water gave George a bad ear. It was weeks before he could return to his after-school job at Old Man Gower's drugstore.
It's me, Mr. Gower, George Bailey.
You're late.
2 cents worth of shoelaces, Violet?
Please, Georgie. I like him. You like every boy.
What's wrong with that?
Oh, here you are.
Bye, Georgie. See you later, Mary.
You made up your mind yet, Mary?
I'll take chocolate.
With coconuts.
I don't like coconuts.
You don't like coconuts? Say brainless. Don't you know where coconuts come from? Looky here. From Tahiti, the Fiji Islands, the Coral Sea.
Is that a new magazine? I never saw it before.
Yeah, of course you never. Only us explorers get it. I've been nominated for the National Geographic Society. Here, I'll get your ice cream.
Is this the ear you can't hear on? George Bailey, I'll love you till the day I die.
I'm going exploring someday. Wait and see.
George, you're not paid to be a canary.
Goodbye, George.
All right, goodbye, Mary.
What was that piece of paper George just picked up?
It's a telegram from Mr. Gower. He found out this morning that his son died of influenza, and he spent the afternoon drowning his grief in whiskey.
Mr. Gower, do you need anything?
No?
I will get them, sir.
Take those capsules over to Mrs. Blades.
They have the diphtheria there, haven't they?
Get going.
Yes, sir. Mr. Gower, that bottle you used, You put something wrong in those capsules.
Who do you think you're talking to?
No. No. Hey, you're hurting my sore ear.
Did you hear what I said? Get out of here.
Mr. Gower, don't you know what you're doing? You put something wrong in those capsules. I know you got the telegram and you're upset, but look at the bottle you used, Mr. Gower. It's poison.
Poison?
Don't hit my sore ear again.
Poison. Oh, George. George.
Yeah. All I wanted was to make sure, Mr. Gower. I won't ever tell a soul. I hope to die, I will.
Did he ever tell anyone about those pills?
Not a soul.
Did he ever marry the girl? Did he ever go exploring?
We'll get there soon enough, Clarence. George grew up and wanted to go to college, but there just wasn't the money. So he worked 4 years in the Building and Loan Association.
Building and Loan Association?
George's father was in the building and loan business, along with George's Uncle Billy.
George, what's the combination to the safe?
We wrote it down so you wouldn't forget it.
That's right. Where?
Who's that?
That's Henry F. Potter, the richest and meanest man in all the county.
Peter, Potter's here.
Mr. Bailey, Mr. Bailey, Mr. Bailey. There is nothing quite so loathsome as a family business. Now, Peter, you know what I'm here for. I'm on a very tight schedule. A family to be fixed at 3.
Okay then, Mr. Potter. But here's the thing. I just need a little more time. I'll dig up that 5,000 somehow.
Have you put any pressure on those people of yours to pay their mortgages?
Times are hard, Mr. Potter. A lot of people are out of work.
Then foreclose!
I can't do that. These families have children.
Are you running a business or a charity?
Mr. Potter, what makes you such a hard-skulled character? You have no family, no children. You can't begin to spend all the money you've got.
So I suppose I should give it away to miserable failures like you and that idiot brother of yours to spend for me?
You can't call my father a failure.
All right, son, thanks.
Don't let him talk about you that way, Pop.
What kind of business are you running here? George worked and saved enough to see him through the university. But first, he was going to Europe. Old man Gower surprised him with a gift of a great big suitcase. On his way home from the store, he ran into his friends, Ernie the cab driver and Bert the cop.
Hey, Ernie.
Hiya, George.
Hey, Bert.
Hey, George. What's the suitcase for?
I'm a rich tourist today. How about driving me home in style?
Sure, Your Highness. Hop in the cab, and for the carriage straight, I puts on my hat.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bailey. Looks like you're ready to get out of here.
Oh, hello, Violet. Hey, you look good. That's some drugs.
Oh, this old thing? Why, I only wear it when I don't care how I look. See you later.
Wanna come along, Bert? We'll show you the town.
No thanks. I think I'll go home and see what the wife's doing.
Family man.
That evening, George had dinner with his father.
Boy, my last supper in the Bailey boarding house.
We're sure gonna miss you, George. I wish we could send Harry to college with you.
We have that all figured out. Harry will take my job at the Building and Loan, and then he'll go.
He's pretty young for that job.
No younger than I was.
You were born older, George. I suppose you've decided what you're going to do when you get out of college?
What I've always talked about. Building things and design new buildings and plan modern cities.
It's just a hope, but you wouldn't consider coming back to the Building and Loan? I know it's early to talk about it.
Oh, I couldn't face being cooped up the rest of my life in that shabby little office. I'm sorry, Bob. I didn't mean that remark. But this business of spending all your life trying to figure out how to save 3 cents on a length of pipe, I'd go crazy. I want to do something big and important.
You know, George, I feel that in a small way we are doing something important. It's not too much for a man to want his own roof and walls and fireplace. And we're helping him get those things in our shabby little office.
I know, Dad, but most of my friends have already finished college. I just feel like if I don't get away now, I'll bust.
You're right, son. This town's no place to live if you aren't willing to crawl to Potter. Get your education, then get out.
See what I'm talking about. Say, maybe I'll go check out Main Street. Last night in town and all.
Have a good time, son.
Hello, Georgie Porgy.
Oh, hello, Vine.
Where are you going?
I'll probably end up at the library.
Don't you ever get tired of just reading about things?
Yes. Say, what are you doing tonight?
Oh, not a thing, Georgie.
Well, are you game, Vi? Let's say we make a night of it.
Oh, I'd love it, Georgie. What do we do?
Well, let's go out in the fields and take off our shoes and walk in the grass.
Huh?
Yeah, then we can go up to Stewart Lake, and it's beautiful up there in the moonlight, and we can swim, and then we can climb Mount Bedford and smell the pines, watch the sun rise against the peaks, and we'll stay up there the whole night. Everybody will be talking. It'll be a terrific scandal.
George, have you gone crazy? Walk in the grass in my bare feet? Why, it's 10 miles up there to Mount Bedford. You think just because you...
Okay, all right, just forget about the whole thing then.
Hey-haw! Forget about what, George?
Oh, nothing, Sam.
You remember Mary, don't you?
Hi, George.
Hi, Mary.
You wouldn't mind walking Mary home, would you?
Mary, is that okay with you?
Fine by me.
Great! Thanks! Hee-haw!
George walked Mary home. Is that important, Joseph?
I'd say it is. Because even though Mary lived only 4 blocks away, it took them 2 hours to get there.
Buffalo gals, would you come out tonight? Come out tonight. Come out tonight. Oh, Buffalo gals, won't you come out tonight and dance by the light of the moon? Hot dog. Gee whiz, just like an old organ. Eh?
Beautiful.
Oh, if it wasn't me talking, I'd say you were the prettiest girl in town.
Well, why don't you say it?
I don't know. Maybe I will. Hey, look where we are.
Oh, the old Granville house.
Yeah. I gotta throw a rock.
Oh, no, don't. I love that old house.
Don't you know about deserted houses? You make a wish and then you throw a rock.
George, it's such a lovely old place. I wish I lived there.
I wouldn't live there if I was a ghost. Watch this. Hey, pretty good shot, huh? Broke a window.
What's your wish, George?
Not one wish, Mary, a whole hatful. I'm shaking the dust of this crummy little town off my shoes, and then I'm gonna go see the world. Italy, Greece, the Parthenon, the Colosseum. Then I come back here and go to college and see what they know, and then I'm gonna build airfields and skyscrapers 100 stories high and a bridge a mile long. And then, hey, what are you doing? You gonna throw a rock? Hey, that's pretty good. What'd you wish for, Mary?
Oh, no, if I tell you, it might not come true.
Well, what do you want, Mary? Say, do you want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
Okay, I'll take it. And then what?
Well, then you can swallow it up. And the moonbeams will shoot out your fingers and your hair and your... Am I talking too much?
Yes, why don't you kiss her instead of talking her to death?
Who's that?
Old man Collins on his front porch.
Youth is wasted on the wrong people.
Hey, mister. You come back here and I'll show you some kissing, then I'll put the hair back on your head.
George!
Hey, Uncle Billy.
George, get in the car, quick. Your father's had a stroke.
I'm sorry, I gotta go, Mary.
George's father died that night, Clarence. So George couldn't go to Europe. That fall, just as he was getting ready to leave for college, the directors of the building and loan held a meeting. They were going to appoint a successor.
I want the board to know that George gave up his trip to Europe to help straighten things out here these past few months, and it was greatly appreciated. I think that's all we'll need you for, George. Good luck to you at school. I know you're anxious to make a train.
Yes, I have a taxi waiting downstairs.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to get to my real purpose. I claim this institution is not necessary to this town. Therefore, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to dissolve the building and loan.
It's too soon after Peter Bailey's death to discuss chloroforming the building and loan. His faith and devotion are responsible for this organization.
I'll go further than that. I'll say Peter Bailey was the building and loan.
Oh, that's fine, Potter, coming from you, considering that you drove him to his grave.
Peter Bailey was not a businessman. That's what killed him. He was a man of high ideals without common sense. And what does that get us but a discontented, lazy rabble instead of a thrifty working class? All because a few starry-eyed dreamers like Peter Bailey stir them up and fill their heads with a lot of impossible hooey. Now I say we...
Oh, now, just a minute, Mr. Potter. You're right when you say my father was no businessman. Why he ever started this building and loan, I'll never know. But you can't say anything about his character. Why, in the 25 years since he and Uncle Billy started this thing, he never once thought of himself. But he did help a few people get out of your slums. And just remember that this rabble you're talking about do most of the working and the paying and living and dying in this community. Well, is it so much to have them work and pay and live and die in a couple of decent rooms and a bath? My father didn't think so. People were human beings to him, but to you, a warped and frustrated old man, they're cattle. And in my book, he died a much richer man than you'll ever be.
I'm not interested in your book.
Well, I've said too much. You're the board. You do what you want with this thing. But just remember that this town needs this measly one-horse institution. If just for some place that people can come without crawling to Potter. Come on, Uncle Billy.
Sentimental hogwash. I won my motion for...
They're just coming out of the board meeting. I'll have to call you back. What happened, George? All we heard was yelling.
Boy, oh boy, Matilda, you should have heard George.
Yeah, voting us down in there.
They're putting us out of business. So what? I can get another job. I'm only 52.
You're 58.
George, they voted Potter down.
Whoopee! We're still in business.
Under the one condition that you take your father's place, George.
I'm going to college. Uncle Billy, here, he's your man.
You can keep him on, that's all right.
No, I'm going to school. This is my last chance.
But they'll vote with Potter otherwise.
It's all right, Clarence.
Thank you. So, George Bailey didn't go to college.
That's right, Clarence. He gave his college money to his brother instead and waited 4 years for Harry to come back and take over the building and loan. Then he could still see the world.
There she blows! Oh, say, Uncle Billy, what are the 3 best sounds in the world?
Breakfast is served, lunch is served, dinner is served.
Anchor chains and plane motors and train whistles. Here comes the professor now.
Well, if it isn't George, Geographic Explorer Bailey. Uncle Billy, you haven't changed a bit.
Oh, am I glad to see you.
Where's Mother?
She's home cooking the fatted calf. Come on, let's go.
Oh, wait. This is Ruth Dakin.
Ruth Dakin Bailey, if you don't mind.
I wired you I had a surprise. Here she is. Meet the wife.
Well, what do you know? Wife.
Congratulations, Harry. Why didn't you tell somebody? And what's a pretty girl like you marrying this 2-headed brother of mine?
Oh, it's purely mercenary. My father offered him a job.
Oh, he gets you and a job? Harry's cup runneth over. Come on, Ruth. Let's start ahead and leave the bags for the fellas.
All right.
George, about that job, I never said I'd take it. You've been holding down the bag here for 4 years, and I won't let you down.
And that night, the homecoming for Harry became his wedding party. Uncle Billy familiarized himself with the spirits.
Boy, oh boy, I feel so good I could spit in Potter's eye. I think I will. Ooh, what do you say? Maybe I should go home if you just point me in the right direction?
Right down there.
That way? All right, old building alone, pal. I'm all right. I'm all right.
George!
Out here on the porch, Mother.
Well, how do you like your new sister-in-law?
Oh, she's swell.
Looks like she'll keep Harry on his toes.
Yeah, keep him out of Bedford Falls anyway.
George, do you know Mary Hatcher's back from school?
Yeah.
Nice girl, Mary. The kind who can help you find all the answers.
Uh-huh.
Give me one good reason you shouldn't go call on her.
Well, Sam Wainwright. Sam's crazy about her.
Well, she's not crazy about him.
Oh, and how'd you know that? Did you discuss it with her?
Besides, Sam's in New York, and you're here in Bedford Falls.
And all's fair in love and war.
Well, I don't know about war.
All right, Mother. I think I'll go find the girl and do a little passionate necking.
Oh, George.
Bye, Mrs. Bailey. Oh, by the way, do you need anything from the library?
The library? George, you go and see Mary, you hear?
Hello, George.
Oh, hello, Mary. Just happened to be passing by.
Your mother just phoned and said you're on your way.
My mother just called. How did she know? I just was on a walk and happened to be passing by. So, when'd you get back?
Tuesday. Would you like to come in?
Well, I guess since I'm here, I should. Where'd you get that dress?
Do you like it?
It's all right. I thought you'd be heading back with Sam, New York, and the other guys.
Oh, I worked there a couple of vacations, but I don't know. I guess I was homesick.
Homesick for Bedford Falls?
Yes. Oh, my family and everything.
I still can't understand it, though. I didn't tell anybody I was coming here.
Would you rather leave?
No, I don't want to be rude.
It was nice about Harry and Ruth, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, that's all right.
Don't you like her?
Well, of course I like her. She's a peach.
Oh. Just marriage in general you're not enthusiastic about.
No, marriage is okay for Harry and Sam and you.
Mary? Who are you talking to?
It's George Bailey, Mother.
George Bailey? What does he want?
I don't know. What do you want, George?
Me? Not a thing. I just came in here to get warm.
He's making violent love to me, Mother.
You tell him to go right back to New York. Sam Wainwright promised to call tonight, didn't he?
Your mother needn't. I'm not here to...
What did you come here for?
I don't know. You're supposed to be the one with all the answers. You tell me.
Oh? Why don't you go home?
That's where I'm going.
Oh, Mary, the telephone. It's Sam.
I'll get it. Hee-haw! Hello, Sam. How are you?
Oh, great. Gee, it's good to hear your voice again.
Oh, that's awfully sweet of you, Sam. There's an old friend of yours here, George Bailey.
You mean old Mossback George? Hee-haw, put him on.
Wait a minute, I'll call him. George!
He doesn't want to speak to George.
He asked for him. George! Sam wants to speak to you.
Hello, Sam.
Hey, fine pal you are. What, you trying to steal my girl?
Nobody's trying to steal your girl.
I want to talk to both of you. Tell Mary to get on the extension.
Your mother's on the extension.
I am not.
We can both hear you. Put your head a little closer.
Okay.
There. That's better. You're listening, Sam?
I have a big deal coming up that's going to make us all rich. George, remember that night at Martini's bar when you told me about making plastic out of soybeans?
Yep, soybeans.
Well, my father chipped into it and wants to build a factory outside Rochester. How do you like that?
Well, why Rochester?
Why not? Can you think of anything better?
Well, why not right here in Bedford Falls? You remember that old Tool and Machinery Works? You tell your father he can get that for a song, and all the labor he wants too. Half the town was thrown out of work when that place shut down.
That's so. Well, that sounds great. Now, here's the point, George. I may have a job for you. That is, unless you're still married to the old broken down building and loan. Oh, Mary?
I'm here.
Tell that guy I'm giving him the chance of a lifetime.
He said it's the chance of a lifetime.
Give me that phone. Now, you listen here. Now, I don't want any plastics, and I don't want any job. I don't want to get married. Not to anyone ever. You hear? And I want to do what I want, and I don't want to, you're not going to. Oh, Mary.
George.
Oh, Mary, I love you.
George and Mary were married. And following the wedding and reception, George's old pal, Ernie the cab driver, drove the happy couple to the train station.
Where you two off to on this here now, honeymoon?
Oh, we're going to shoot the works. A whole week in New York, then Bermuda, the highest hotels, the oldest champagne, the richest caviar, the hottest music, and the prettiest wife.
Look, here's the kitty, Ernie. $2,000. I feel like a bootlegger's wife.
Finally getting out of Bedford Falls, huh? Then what?
Well, then what, honey?
After that, who cares?
Hey, George, there's something funny going on over there. Look, over there at the bank. It looks like a run.
Pull over a minute, will you, Ernie?
George, let's not stop, please. Let's go straight to the station.
Wait a minute. I better see what this is. I'll be right back. What is this, Uncle Billy? A holiday? Why is there a whole crowd out front? Why are the doors locked?
This is a pickle, George.
Well, what's going on? What happened?
The bank called our loan, and I had to hand out all our cash.
All of it?
Every last cent of it.
Holy mackerel.
And then I got scared, George.
Well, open the doors. Let them in.
All right, come on.
Now, just remember that this thing isn't as black as it appears.
Where's our money, George?
Well, you're thinking of this place all wrong. Your money's not here. Your money's in people's houses, like the Kennedy house and and the McLaren house, and 100 others. Now what do you want to do, foreclose on them?
I got $242 in here, and $242 isn't gonna break anybody.
All right, Charlie, you'll get your money in 60 days.
60 days?
That's what you agreed to when you bought into the shares.
I got my money. Old man Potter's taking over the bank. He'll give you 50 cents on every dollar.
What? 50 cents?
Wait. If Potter gets a hold of your shares, he'll own the building and loan. He's got the bank, he's got the bus line, he's got the department stores, and now he's after us, because he wants to keep you living in his shacks and paying the kind of rent that he decides. Now, we can get through this, all right, but we just have to have faith in each other.
My husband's out of work. We need money.
I got doctor bills to pay.
How much do you need? We've got $2,000 from the wedding.
Hey, okay, I got $2,000 here, and this will tide us over until the bank reopens. All right, Charlie, now how much do you need?
$242.
Charlie, just enough to tide you over.
I'll take $242.
All right, Uncle Billy, give Charlie $242. All right, Ed, now how much just to get by?
$20, I suppose.
Now we're talking. Mrs. Thompson, how much do you need?
But it's your own money, George.
Oh, never mind that. How much, Mrs. Thompson?
Could I have $17.50?
$17.50. Bless your heart. Of course you can have it. Uncle Billy, give her $17.50. Pay it back when you can. All right, who's next?
Look at the clock. Look.
5 seconds. 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. 6 o'clock. We're still in business. Uncle Billy, lock the doors.
Bailey Brothers building it. Oh, just a minute. George, there's a call for you.
Look, will you get my wife on the phone? She's probably over at her mother's.
Mrs. Bailey is on the phone.
I don't want Mrs. Bailey. I want my wife. Oh, that is Mrs. Bailey. That's my wife. Hey, Mary. Hello? Listen, dear, I'm sorry. What? Come home. What home? 320 Sycamore. Well, whose home was that? The Waldorf Hotel, huh?
That doesn't look like the Waldorf.
Oh, no. Number 320 Sycamore was the old Granville house, the one George and Mary threw rocks at and made wishes. Mary had prepared the house, including a turkey dinner, romantic decorations, and even a marriage bed.
Welcome home, Mr. Bailey.
Well, I'll be.
Remember the night we broke the windows in this old place? This is what I wished for.
Darling, you're wonderful.
Yes, sir. That's where they spent their honeymoon. That's where they started their lives together. Mary made the leaky old house a home, while George toiled away at the building and loan office.
Oh, gee, Mary Hatch. Why in the world would you ever marry a guy like me anyway?
To keep from being an old maid.
I was going to give you the moon. What have I given you? Not even a new dress. Not for months. You could have married Sam Wainwright, anybody else in this town.
I didn't want to marry anybody else in town. I want my baby to look just like you.
You didn't even have a honeymoon. Promised you. Your what?
My baby.
You mean, Mary, you're on the nest?
George Bailey lassos the storm.
Well, Mary had her baby. A boy.
You don't say.
Then she had a girl. Night after night, George would come home late from the office. Things weren't good with the building and loan. Potter was bearing down hard. Then came the war. Mary had another baby by then, but still had time to run the USO. Gower and Uncle Billy sold war bonds. Violet entertained the troops. Bert the cop was wounded in North Africa, got the Silver Star. Ernie, the taxi driver, parachuted into France. But Harry Bailey topped them all. A Navy flyer, he shot down 15 planes. 2 of them as they were about to crash into a transport full of soldiers.
But what about George?
4F on account of his ear. George fought the Battle of Bedford Falls. Air raid warden, paper drives, scrap drives, rubber drives. On VE Day, he wept and prayed. VJ Day, he wept and prayed again.
Getting pretty close close to today, aren't we, sir?
Yes, Clarence. You now know almost everything you have to know about George Bailey, except what happens that finds him down there at this moment, wanting to die. Today's the day before Christmas, and Billy's at the bank to make a deposit when he runs into Potter.
Well, 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 Mr. Henry F. Potter. Come to the bank to deposit some more loot? How do you like the news in the paper, Mr. Potter? Harry Bailey wins Congressional Medal of Honor.
Let me see that newspaper.
Here you go. Go on and keep it. I'm off to make a deposit.
Good morning, Mr. Bailey.
Good morning, Horace. Here you are, deposit slip, bank book, and a very Merry Christmas to you.
You too, Mr. Bailey? You want to make a deposit?
Well, certainly.
Well, it's customary to bring the money with you.
It's gone. Where'd I put it? Where'd I put that money?
A terrible thing, Clarence. Uncle Billy couldn't find the money because the envelope with the $8,000 was folded up in that newspaper he gave to Old Man Potter. At the same time as Billy started looking for the deposit, Violet came to visit George at the building and loan.
Oh, hello, Vi. What's the matter?
You see right through me, don't you?
How much do you need?
I hate doing this to you, George, but I won't be asking for any more after this.
Well, you planning on robbing a bank, Vi?
I'm going to Manhattan.
What's in Manhattan?
Why, everything's in Manhattan. A new start, at least.
Well, that's a big step, Vi. What's the matter with starting a new life right here in Bedford Falls?
Well, I'll be. Never thought I'd hear that from you, George Bailey. I thought you hated this place.
Well, I did, but this town has a charm of its own.
I've made a decision. There's a midnight train tonight, and I plan to be on it.
Takes a lot of character to leave your hometown and start all over again. Here's some dough.
No, George, don't.
What do you want to do, hawk your furs in that hat? You want to walk to New York? You know they charge for meals and rent just the same as they do here in Bedford Falls.
Yeah, sure.
It's a loan. That's my business. Building and loan. Besides, you'll get a job. Good luck to you.
I'm glad I know you, George Bailey. Merry Christmas.
George!
Hey, what's the matter, Uncle Billy?
The money, the 8,000,
What, Uncle Billy? What happened to it?
I thought I had it, I just don't know what happened.
Oh, well, the first place you look is in your coat pocket. I told you to put it there when you left.
Oh, I'm no good to you, George, I'm no good.
Uncle Billy, we've got to find that money. Think.
I can't think anymore, George.
Where's the money, you silly old fool? Do you realize what this means? It means bankruptcy and scandal, and it means prison. One of us is going to jail. Well, it's not going to be me.
Hello, Daddy. Hello, darling. Where's your coat and hat?
I left them at the office.
Isn't it wonderful about Harry? We're famous, George. I bet I had 50 calls today about the parade and banquet.
Must you keep playing that?
I have to practice for the party tonight, Daddy.
Mommy says we can stay up until midnight and sing Christmas carols.
Better hurry and shave. The families will be here soon.
Families? I don't want any families over here.
Excuse me. Another hectic day.
Oh yeah, another big red letter day for the Baileys.
Daddy, the Browns next door have a new car. You should see it.
Well, what's the matter with our car? Is it not good enough for you?
Yes, Daddy. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Excuse you for what?
I burped.
No, right here. Excuse, Daddy. Now go upstairs and see what little Zuzu wants.
Little Zuzu? What's the matter with Zuzu?
She caught a cold coming home from school. They gave her a flower and she didn't want to crush it, so she didn't button up her coat. The doctor said it's nothing serious.
Was the doctor here?
I called him right away.
Was she running a temperature?
Just a teensy one.
Gosh, it's this old house. I don't know why we all don't have pneumonia. This drafty old barn might as well be living in a refrigerator. Why do we have to live here in the first place? Why do we have to stay around this crummy old town?
George, what's wrong?
Well, everything's wrong. You call this a happy family? Why do we have to have so many kids?
Dad, how do you spell frankincense?
I don't know. Ask your mother.
Where are you going?
Up to see Zuzu.
Hi, Daddy.
Well, what happened to you?
I want a flower.
Where do you think you're going?
I want to give my flower a drink.
Here, give Daddy the flower and I'll give it a drink.
Look, Daddy. Some of the petals came off. Pasted.
All right. There it is. Good as new.
the flower a drink.
Now, will you try and get some sleep?
I'm not sleepy. I want to look at my flower.
I know. But you just go to sleep, and then you can dream about it. And it'll be a whole garden.
It will?
Telephone! I'll get it. Hello? Yes, this is Mrs. Bailey. Oh, thank you, Mrs. Welch. The doctor said you'll be out of bed in time for a Christmas dinner.
Is that Zuzu's teacher?
Yes.
Hello, Mrs. Welch. This is George Bailey. Say, what kind of teacher are you anyways? What do you mean sending her home like that half naked?
George!
Was this the sort of thing we pay taxes for? To have teachers like you, silly, stupid, careless people who send our kids home without any clothes on? Oh, that's stupid.
Hello, Mrs. Welch. I want to apologize. She hung up.
Oh, hang her up.
Who do you think you are?
Hello? Who is this? Oh, Mr. Welch. Oh, that's fine, Mr. Welch. Gives me a chance to tell you what I really think of your wife. Will you let me handle this? Hello? Oh, you will, huh? Okay, Mr. Welch. Anytime you think you're man enough. Hello? Ah!
Daddy, how do you spell hallelujah?
What do you think I am, a dictionary? Janie, and haven't you learned that stupid tune yet? You keep playing it over and over and over again. Now stop it! Stop it!
George, what are you doing?
I'm sorry, Mary. Janie, I didn't mean... Go on and practice. Pete, I owe you an apology, too. What did you want to know?
Nothing, Daddy.
What's the matter with everybody? Janie, go on. I told you to practice. Go on! Play!
Oh, Daddy! Why must you torture the children? Why don't you just...
Mary.
Where's Daddy going? Bed for 247, please. Is Daddy in trouble? Yes, Pete.
Should I pray for him?
Yes, Janie, pray very hard. Me too? You too, Tommy. Hello, Uncle Billy.
So that's it, George? You're short $8,000?
I'll pay any sort of interest, Mr. Potter, if you still want the building and loan.
You say it was lost. Did you notify the police?
No, I haven't. With Harry's homecoming tomorrow...
Why come to me? Why not go to Sam Wainwright?
I can't get a hold of him. He's in Europe.
What kind of security would I have, George?
I have a $15,000 life insurance policy.
How much is your equity in it?
$500.
And you want $8,000? You used to be so cocky. You were going to go out and conquer the world. You once called me a warped, frustrated old man. What are you but a warped, frustrated young man crawling in here on your hands and knees for help? You're worth more dead than you are alive.
I'll do anything.